We've got chemistry, history, plus the real shit. Shared trauma.
Well. Today is going to be an interesting one, or at least I think it's interesting. It's kind of two stories in one, but they are related. Alright, so today I'm going to talk about how I met my boyfriend and how we almost died via redneck. Out of context, it sounds so horrible, but it was terrifying. Alright, so I met my boyfriend through a mutual friend from Siobhan, my last story. I was hanging out with her a lot. I was always at her house. She was always picking me up. We were always driving places. She texted me one day and she's like, hey, we're going to go to this nearby college to see one of my friends from high school. And I'm like, all right, bet, cool. I love meeting new people. So I went with her and I met my boyfriend, Brian. He was a student at this college. Like, he was a freshman. I was a senior in high school. So he's a grade above me. We became friends pretty fast. We had very similar senses of humor without Siobhan. And then one day we were hanging out. I was driving around because he didn't have a car at the time. And he was telling me about this property that his grandfather used to have over on some road I'd never heard of. And he was directing me. I've never been in the area. And we pull over on this kind of hilly-ish area. There are some houses, like, a little farther away, but they're on, like, separate properties. And we have this blank property in front of us. And, so we get out of the car, we start kind of walking, like, towards this wide open area, and he's like, yeah, that's where the house used to be. I think, he wasn't quite sure, but he thought it was the right property, so I guess he was trying to justify it. And as we're looking around, we look to our left, and we see a red pickup coming our way. Not slowly. Very, very fast. It was a very, very fast driving truck. And I looked at Brian and I'm like, that doesn't look good. So we started running to my car. And if we had not ran to my car, that truck would have hit us. Like, no question about it. And I can tell you why. Because the guy he opened his door. He started screaming and hollering, what the fuck are you guys doing on my property? Da 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 da. And we're panicking because we're like, dude, we didn't know. We're so sorry. Like, there were no trespassing signs. There were no other signs posted. It was just like a blank little area. We didn't think anything of it. It was an honest mistake. And he sat there, like, yelling at us for at least 10 minutes. Like, not just yelling, sorry. No, he was screaming. He was so fucking pissed. And he looked at us and he said, if I didn't have my gun on you, he said, if I had my gun, I would have shot your asses. So, he definitely would have killed us if he had his gun. So, getting hit by a car, I don't know which one would have been better. And we're trying to plead with this guy. We're like, dude, we did not mean it. It was an honest mistake. We will never come back here if that's what you want. But, like, we didn't mean any harm. We were just looking at the property. And Brian tried to tell him, this used to be my grandpa's property. Like, he used to have a house here. And the guy's like, I ain't never heard of him. What are you talking about? What are you going on about? He was so angry. And it was just, like, terrifying. I was shaking. Brian was, like, not sure what to do because he didn't want to, like, provoke the guy. We wanted to get the hell out of there. And I, like, pleaded with the guy. I'm like, dude, we did not mean to be on your property. We did not think this was your property. We will leave. We will never come back. And we could just leave this all behind us, okay? And somehow, thankfully, he decided to let us go after that. He's like, I never want to fucking see you around ever again. And, ooh, I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life, to be completely honest. Like, that might have been the closest I've ever been to death. Or maybe second or third time, I don't know. It's the one that comes to mind when I think of almost dying. After that, however, we were chilling in a parking lot to try and take a minute, take a breath, and figure out, okay, well, we almost just died. What do we do now? Just two friends, like, oh fuck, what do we do? And then I get a text from Siobhan, and she had some personal stuff going on that she needed to talk to somebody, so we drove over to her. She was in the mall parking lot. We were all at the mall now. And she's smoking a cigarette. She's stressed the hell out. She's talking to us. And me and Brian are like, here, come on, let's go into the mall. Let's walk around. Let's distract you. Let's get this off your mind. And we're walking around. We're goofing around. And I couldn't tell you how many stores we were in the mall. That's all kind of a blur. And then after that, we actually ended up going to Target. I'm not exactly sure if it's because we needed anything or we just wanted another place to wander around in. But we went to Target, and that's where the next... So, I looked at Siobhan. I nudged her shoulder, and I'm like, hey, watch this. She's like, what? And I walk up to Brian, who was walking, in front of us. I turn him around, I said, hey, you, with the face. He looked at me, he's like, what? And I said, hey, we're dating now. And he's like, oh, okay. It's just as easy as that. I've tried to ask out guys before and it always got rejected, so I'm surprised that I didn't get rejected. And then he was just like, oh, okay. He just went along with it. And that's how it's been the last 4 years. Very, very short, very sweet, very simple. We haven't spoken to Siobhan in a few months. We had a falling out, but me and Brian are still going strong, and I hope she's healing from what she had going on. Me and Brian wish her nothing but the best. But, I don't know. Things just don't work out sometimes. But, well, that was actually a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. See, I thought I was going to be sitting here making a 12-minute video with this story, or the two stories, and it only, well, you can't win them all. But that was the story on how I met my boyfriend and how we almost died via redneck. Alright. I hope that was entertaining enough for you guys. I hope to see you around next time for the next video. Bye!